Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about the norma frontalis of the skull bone. First of all, what is norma frontalis? It is the front part of the skull bone. Whatever you see from the front or the facial part of the skull bone. Now over here it is mainly formed by these 5 bones. That is the frontal bone, the maxilla. This is the maxilla. This purple part, maxilla. This darkened purple part is the nasal bone. Then this orange part is the zygomatic bone or the cheekbone, we can say, that forms a cheek. And the mandible, this is the mandible. So 5 bones: frontal bone, maxilla, nasal bone, zygomatic bone and the mandible. Now it is mainly studied under main 4 headings. That is the frontal bone, first of all this part, orbital part, anterior piriform part, or we can say this whatever hole over here you can see, this is the aperture. This is a piriform aperture. Okay, over here whatever just if you will feel your nose, okay, it is mainly formed by cartilage only. So over here this will form mainly your nose, this part, and cartilage over here will form your nose. Okay, so this is your nasal aperture, and above this we have nasal bone, right? This part, piriform part, is the nasal aperture, and the lower part, in the lower part we will have this portion. Okay. So now first of all the frontal region. Frontal region has mainly 4 things. That is the superciliary arch. This over here, the prominent bony part above your this is your orbit, right? This is your orbit where the eyeball exists. Now above this orbit, this is the margin of this is the upper margin of the orbit. Now above this upper margin of the orbit you have a bony bar. Okay, where actually your eyebrows are mainly present. Okay, that is the superciliary arch. Okay, and this is mainly more prominent in males as compared to the females, right? And it actually overlies one sinus known as the frontal sinus. So remember, it actually overlies frontal sinus. Now next is the glabella. Glabella actually the median prominent part. In between these 2 superciliary arches, there is one median part over here. As you can see, this is the glabella. This is the glabella. And below the glabella, the skull actually have frontonasal suture. This is the frontal bone and this is the nasal bone. So between these 2 there is one suture known as the frontonasal suture. And next is the nasion. Nasion is that part where the this frontonasal suture and the internasal suture. This is the internasal suture. We actually connects these 2 nasal bones. So the meeting point of the frontonasal suture and the internasal suture, this point is known as the nasion. And the frontal tuber or the frontal eminence is actually lower, we can say low rounded elevation above the superciliary arch. Present mainly above the superciliary arch, it is actually elevated. Okay, and it is more prominent in females and children as compared to males. So superciliary arch is prominent in males, while the frontal tuber eminence is more prominent in the female and the children. Now the orbital region. Now this is the orbital region. Okay, this part. Now this orbital region has mainly 4 margins. That is the supraorbital margin. This is the supraorbital margin. Okay, and in between the lateral 2/3 and medial 1/3 there is one notch or foramen. As you can see, this is the supraorbital foramen or the supraorbital notch. This one. Now the infraorbital margin, this. Now it is mainly formed by the zygomatic bone laterally, as you can see, zygomatic bone laterally, and the maxillary or the maxillary bone medially. Zygomatic bone and the maxillary bone. Now the medial orbital margin. Now this is not that much actually defined. It is actually ill defined, and it is mainly formed by the frontal bone above, as you can see, easily visible. It is formed by the frontal bone, and at the lower part it is formed by the lacrimal crest of the frontal process of the maxilla. If you know, the maxilla has mainly 4 processes. Okay, the frontal process, alveolar process, zygomatic process, and the 4th one is the palate process, which actually forms the bony pad of your mouth or the roof of your mouth. So this part is actually formed by the frontal process, and that is the lacrimal crest of the frontal process of the maxilla or the maxillary bone. And the lateral orbital margin, this is mainly formed by 2 bones, we can say. Okay, this is the zygomatic bone, of course, and this is the frontal bone. So this part is actually formed by the zygomatic process of the frontal bone and the frontal process of the zygomatic bone. And between these two, we have one suture known as the zygomatico-frontal suture. Okay, so two bones, frontal bone and the two zygomatic process of the frontal bone and the frontal process of zygomatic bone. Right. Now, next is the anterior bony part of the nasal bone, or we can see this pyriform aperture. This one. This pyriform shape thing you can see is the pyriform aperture. Now first of all, its boundaries. Its above boundary actually formed by the nasal bone, of course, and the below it is formed by the nasal notch of the maxilla. Okay, maxilla has one nasal notch, so this is the nasal notch of it. It will form the lower part. Okay, now we'll talk about the features of the anterior bony part of the nasal bone. Okay, and the pyriform aperture. So right now we'll talk about the features of these whole part. Okay, including the nasal bone. First of all, the articulation anteriorly by the internasal suture with the opposite nasal bone, posteriorly by the frontal process of the maxilla, superiorly by the frontal bone as you can see, and inferiorly by the upper nasal cartilage that actually forms a nose. Okay, you can touch your nose and just feel that it is made up of cartilage, not the bones. So upper nasal cartilage. Now the next is the anterior nasal spine. What is this? It is the lower boundary. Means if you will touch your bone just below your internasal septum, okay, outside, from the outside only, over here somewhere, you will see one projection or the sharp projection in the median plane in the lower boundary of the pyriform aperture. This part, even you can feel from outside as well if you will touch slightly. That is the anterior nasal spine. And the last is the renion. Renion is the lowermost point of the internasal suture. It is the lowermost point only, renion, but the anterior nasal spine is the sharp projection at the lower part of the base of the this aperture. Now the lower part of the face, this part, which actually includes three main bones: the maxilla, the zygomatic bone, and the mandible bone. Okay, now first of all, the maxilla. The maxilla actually contributes a large share in the formation of the bone. As you can see, this whole light purple part, this is the nasal bone, okay, included over here. This light purple part is the maxilla. So now the maxilla contributes large share in the formation of the facial skeleton, and it mainly represents, first of all, as you can see, the nasal notch. This is the nasal notch, which actually forms the lower boundary of the pyriform aperture. This one. Now the anterior nasal spine, we talked about this before only. It actually the sharp projection, okay, at the lower or the base of the internasal suture. Now the infraorbital foramen. This infraorbital foramen means it is present just below the orbit. So infraorbital foramen, and we have mainly two fossas: incisive fossa and the canine fossa. Incisive fossa above the incisor teeth, okay, and the canine fossa lateral to the canine eminence. Okay, so we have mainly two fossas: incisive fossa and the canine fossa. Now next is the processes in the maxilla. I told you before, we have mainly four processes in the maxilla, out of which only three forms the this norma frontalis bone. Okay, out of which only three forms the norma frontalis. That is, while the norma the fourth one, that is a palatine process, will not form the norma frontalis. Only three will form. What are they? Frontal process. As you can see, this is the frontal process. Okay. The zygomatic process and the alveolar process will actually form the socket of the upper teeth. While the lower teeth socket is formed on the mandible. Upper teeth alveolar process of the maxilla. The zygomatic bone. It is also known as the malar bone. This orange part over here is the zygomatic bone, which actually forms to the prominent part of your cheeks. Whenever you touch your cheeks, the prominent bone present, it is the zygomatic bone, or known as the malar bone. Now it has mainly one foramen known as the zygomaticofacial foramen. Okay, it has zygomaticofacial foramen. Till now we studied three main foramens or notches: supraorbital notch or the foramen, this infraorbital foramen, and the zygomaticofacial foramen. We'll talk about the structure passing through each foramen in detail in this video only later. Now next is the mandible. This is the mandible, the lower jaw. Now it has mainly this upper border. Upper border actually forms the socket or the alveolar part of the for accommodating the lower teeth. Lower border or the base, it is the rounded one. Okay, the middle point of the base, is known as the mental point or the gnathion. The middle point of this is known as the gnathion, or we can say mental point, and the point on the angle of the mandible, somewhere over here. Okay, the angle of the mandible, at the angle of the mandible, there is a point known as the gonion. So don't confuse between these two. Gnathion is the middle point of the base of the this mandible, and the gonion is at the angle of the mandible, right? Now the anterior surface of the body of the mandible mainly represent, first of all, symphysis menti. This is the symphysis menti, okay, where these two mandible parts, okay, are actually fused. Over here, the symphysis menti. The mental protuberance, this is the mental protuberance, and this is the mental tubercle. So symphysis menti, mental protuberance, and the mental tubercle. Now the mental foramen below the interval between the two premolar teeth. So between the two premolar teeth, we have one foramen known as the mental foramen. So in short, till now we did 4 foramens, right? This, and over here again mental foramen between the two premolar teeth. Now next is the oblique line. Oblique line actually runs upwards and backwards. This upwards and backwards from the mental tubercle to the anterior border of the ramus of the mandible. For the sutures of there forms the norma frontalis. Internasal suture, the frontonasal suture, nasomaxillary suture, zygomaticomaxillary suture, zygomaticofrontal suture, lacrimomaxillary suture, frontomaxillary suture, and the intermaxillary suture. On the attachments of the muscles of the norma frontalis, first of the corrugator supercilii, it is mainly present at the medial part of the superciliary arch. Okay, somewhere over here. Processus from the nasal bone, process attaches, and the orbicularis oculi muscle. Oculi muscle is orbital part. If you remember, I told you in my muscle video of the face that the orbicularis oculi has 3 main muscles: orbital part, palpebral part, and the lacrimal part. So the orbital part of the orbicularis oculi arises from the frontal process of the maxillary bone. Somewhere over here it will be attached. Frontal process of the maxillary bone, and from the nasal part of the frontal bone, means somewhere over here it is attached. Frontal process of the maxilla, and from the nasal part of the frontal bone, somewhere over here. Now the medial palpebral ligament is also arises from the this frontal part. This is the frontal part of the maxillary bone only, for a frontal process of maxillary bone only. And the levator labii superioris alachnasi also arises from the frontal process of the maxillary bone. So mainly 3 muscles over here, 2 muscles and one this ligament, that is the orbicularis oculi orbital part, arises from frontal process of the maxilla and the nasal part of the frontal bone. Then the levator labii superioris alachnasi arises from the the frontal process of the maxillary bone, and the medial palpebral ligament arises from the same, that is the frontal process of the maxillary bone. Now the levator labii superioris arises from the maxilla between the infraorbital margin and the infraorbital foramen. Between these two things, there will be levator labii superioris attachment or origin, we can say. Then nasalis and then depressor septi. It mainly arises from the canine fossa. Canine fossa is actually present lateral to the canine eminence. So this arises from the canine fossa. Now the incisivius muscle arises from the area of the orbicularis oris. If you remember in my muscle video, I told you that orbicularis oris muscle actually bounds the whole lips part. Okay, so it actually forms a part of the orbicularis oris muscle and arises from an area just below the depressor septi. Depressor septi attachment was somewhere over here, the canine fossa. So somewhere just below the depressor septi, there will be attachment of the incisivius. Now zygomaticus minor and major, of course it will be from the zygomatic bone only, but remember zygomaticus minor muscle arises below the zygomatical facial foramen. I told you before the zygomatical facial foramen present in the zygomatic bone. So below that there will be zygomaticus minor, and lateral to zygomaticus minor there will be zygomaticus major. And last is the buccinator, arises from the maxilla and the mandible, okay, opposite molar teeth, and mainly from the pterygomandibular raphe also. It also forms a part of the orbicularis oris muscle. Now the structures passing through the foramen. Now first of all, the supraorbital foramen, some means from the here. From supraorbital foramen, supraorbital nerves and vessels simple. Infraorbital foramen somewhere over here. This is the infraorbital foramen, inferior to the orbital. So infraorbital nerves and vessels simple. Mental foramen was this. This is a mental foramen. So mental foramen actually again passes mental nerves and vessels simple. Zygomaticofacial foramen at the zygomatic process, okay, somewhere over here. So it mainly passes nerve of same name, of course, zygomaticofacial nerve and the maxillary nerve. Okay, remember two things, zygomaticofascial nerve and the maxillary nerve. And one more important thing is that the external nasal nerve actually emerges between the nasal bone and the upper nasal cartilage. Okay, upper nasal cartilage and nasal bone, there is external nasal nerve. So mainly supraorbital nerve and vessel, infraorbital nerve and vessel, mental nerve and vessel, zygomaticofacial nerve and maxillary nerve, and the external nasal nerve actually passes from the norma frontalis part. Now clinical aspects. Now the nasal bone is the mostly frequently fractured bone of the face. Mandible and the parietal tuber eminence are also present as a fractured bone of the face, but nasal bone is most. So this was all about the norma frontalis part of the skull bone. Hope you understood well. Thank you so much.